Dr. Crane, hello. I was watching again your interview of 2006 titled Out from Under Majestic, Dan Barish Uncensored. And what I wanted to comment on are details of my adopted father. He was George C., and by certain instances, I gauge that George C. is also George Tenet, who worked for the CIA. Now, I was told in college, as I had a counselor, a talking counselor, whom I would talk to, he said to me in one day that my father, as it was, well, a likable guy. And he also said to me, "You're an extraterrestrial, Nathan. Your psychology is beyond my expertise. I can't help you." And he was being honest. Anyway, there is a problem with staffing that we have, and we have suffered with for many years. And there is a machine which I was told about by my adoptive father, and he was kind of let go from a control device he has on him and has had. George Tenet got more and more distraught as time went because he became more and more disgraced. He was throughout time. He used time travel. His mind was very special. He had injuries given to him, which made him more out of his own command and under somebody else's. There are so many manifest abuses we have suffered, and in a way he knew he was suffering. I have experiential evidence. I suffered brain damage by him. I got jettisoned by him and two others helping when I was unconscious down a flight of 6 or 7 stairs into a hardwood security door. It bashed my skull. I lost parts of my memory during surgery and operation. And there were times right after the accident that I would suddenly, right after the incident, where I would realize, hey, I lost my memory. I've spent much of my life remembering that I had this case occur. But there is a soul operation where the soul begins to try to remember something in the brain, even a habit or activity which is not there anymore. My father used to make an expression to me, a smile, and there was no way for me to respond, and he would sit down and rub the bridge of his nose between his eyes for a long time then, because he was reaching for something, a way to progress the smile. and he could not. Now, we've had experiences through timelines. A timeline in this range of territories, Earth, is marked by the date at which it will go through a time shift, a recollection, a back to zero point. This timeline of 2012, Armageddon date, can be described as acute, whereas the 2056 Armageddon date is more obtuse. And this is a seeming, it's as if time goes through a certain prismatic detail before being manifest to us in the spatial environment. I remember that one day, one evening, there was an effect. He was released. Now, he had been atrocious in providing jeticides. And he reached a deal with Greys that he would have command put on him. He got much of his brain removed and actual implants of technology put in there, and was to be always surrounded by a field which would also protect him from harm, retaliation, primarily from others. One day, two what we would call missiles hit a craft which commands his control. He didn't have much time, but he explained to me some things, and it was in the aura, the air, of the 2056 Armageddon timeline. Since we've crossed through, they sometimes reconnect. There are examples like this of the personnel who went through the Manhattan experiment. When he was free of control, he said to me, "You have to read books. You have to read real history books, not story books." He said, you have no idea. He assured me that it was practically a crime for me to read fiction. He ironically was living married to the one whom paid money and came up with ideas in order to ruin the library systems. He was vehement. He told me as a most important, referate and repair the place you will make it your mission in life. Then, some gray extraterrestrials, unusual of this time place, they were of slightly yellow skin and their eyes were very large and turned upwards as if they had come from an Asian history.